Woodman! God, this is, there's a mouse. Nope. Didn't see that. Let's talk about cancel culture. You guys like cancel culture? Because I sure don't. I've already made a lot of videos about that on the channel, and that is, you know, that not exactly the most, you know, politically correct type, but I'm also not really a political type either. There's a really brief moment in my life where I was like, yeah, politics. I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna tell people about my opinion of how things should be, and I'm gonna have a huge effect on everyone. And then all of a sudden just turns out that, well, one, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, and I just pissed off a lot of people. And like, you know, through that ignorance, I just learned that, you know, there are so many different perspectives in politics that, like, and everybody's so passionate about their particular perspective, you know, being right, that, fuck, I'm gonna die. That, I just prefer to listen a lot more than speak, because at the end of the day, I always leave conversations thinking that I'm an idiot and there was something that I didn't know, which is, you know, like, it can be a good thing, but if you want to be, like, an effective debater, oh my god, I suck, that is, not an ideal quality, because you end up, you know, like, when I talk, it sounds like I'm trying to convince myself of my own points just as much as the person in front of me. And yeah, I don't know, I really prefer getting along with people. And, you know, when you say that you're for whatever political candidate, you know, you just end up alienating so many people. And honestly, like, seriously guys, I don't care. I don't want to enjoy my life. Some of you might say that it's sort of an ignorance is bliss sort of philosophy that I'm leading, but to be honest with you, it's like, I value, you know, getting along with folks too much to sacrifice friendships for, you know, I don't want to say political gain, but just, crap. You know, just to be right, to have superiority over somebody else because I have the facts. It's like, you know, because you have a friend maybe, and then, you know, you start discussing a particular topic, I don't know, like, let's say climate change, or, like, guns and all that crap, and instead of, because, like, I kind of have this problem where I really genuinely can see both sides to most arguments, because, like, I don't know about you guys, my parents, were political opposites when I was growing up. Like, my mom was very liberal, and my dad, well, I don't want to say he's very conservative. Oh crap, I suck at this game, damn it. But, you know, my dad was more of like a religious type, and he wanted me to understand the benefits of, like, the free market. My mom would always tell me that, you know, capitalism is exploitation, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about either of that, you know, like, you guys are just living in your own little world, and, like, I'm fine. I'm honestly grateful that I get to, you know, see both perspectives so close, you know, toe to toe. But at the end of the day, man, it's just, there's so much vitriol each side speaks of the other, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys feel. It's like, ultimately, you're gonna have your worldview, but, I just, you know, when you take a stance on something, you know, obviously it takes a lot of balls, and I respect people who do it, but I don't think I have the personality for it anymore. Like, I tried it once a long time ago, and then, like, in hindsight, I was just like, you know what, actually, I really don't know anything about this particular topic, and, like, unless I have very concrete facts or data to, you know, cite in the name of whatever argument I'm making, I just prefer to, damn, these fucking chickens, I just prefer to, you know, shut up and enjoy my life. And, like, I know I've been making sort of a stance on this channel, but, like, I think like a lot of you people, I'm just so jaded about my life that, like, I'm noticing that I'm already 24 years old, and then every day is just passing by so quickly that, I don't know, I have already so much anxiety about what I want to do with myself. It's like, why, I don't know, why bother with, matters that I hardly know anything about anyway. Like, I didn't study political science in school. I just was, you know, a little frustrated with some PC types in school, because, you know, I will say that if there's anything that does genuinely bother me, it's that, like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. I'm definitely gonna die. Oh, yep, I died. The thing I don't like about the PC types is, and I know that there are probably so many people in my audience who are, like, you know, relatively liberal, and I have no problem with you, but, you know, something that I wish that there was more of is, like, genuine intellectual conversation between, opposing political viewpoints, because now it's just like everybody wants to insult each other. You have the conservatives who use the term like libtard, and then I guess like a lot of hyper progressive types just resort to the word racist, when like I think that's a little bit of a strong word to be using in the first place. And if there really was a true effective dialogue between either side of the political spectrum right now, like maybe we wouldn't be as divided as we are now. But at the same time, there's something that deep down inside of me that's like, maybe it was all leading to this anyway. Like, what's the right word for it? It's like, maybe our civilization, our culture at some point was, what the fuck's after Woodman? I don't remember what's after Woodman. I'm gonna guess. I think it's Bubble Man. Anyway, over a period of time, a society starts to lose its unity, and we're a much different country from what we were like 100 years ago. And I don't want to go back to what we were 100 years ago. Frankly, I like having the internet. I like the comfort of being able to play Mega Man like this and talking to a bunch of people. But it's just really frustrating for me, because sometimes I don't know. Like, you guys have boomer parents. My parents are Gen Xers, right? And so like I hear a lot about the 80s and the 70s and that period of time in the States. And everyone's like if you take for example, like I think it was the 1982-84 election. Hold on one second. So like there's a 1980 election. I think it was the 1984 election. Yeah, if I'm doing the math right in my head. And like Ronald Reagan, regardless of how you feel about Ronald Reagan, by the way, won basically every... Fuck, I lost. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to... I don't know if I can continue. Yeah, he won, like, every state except for Minnesota, and I think some other state as well. And that, like, is an indicator to me that the 80s, politically, must have been somewhat more unified. Like, yeah, we have, like, the Electoral College, and, like, there are a lot of votes that are unaccounted for, because maybe some of those states, the other guy, whose name I just cannot remember for the life of me, got a significant amount of votes. But, like, this last election where it was Trump and what's-his-fuck? Biden? Yeah, that's right, whatever president is. It was pretty close, and was a testament to how much more divided we are than maybe, like, 20 or 30 years ago. And I don't know if it's, like, that older people just don't understand what it's like to grow up in such chaos, but I think, like, our generation, especially, like, people who are younger than, like, 25, that's to say that you agree with them that as a good metric for, cultural stress, collective cultural stress, because some people don't agree with, like, the label Generation X and Millennials and say that it's stupid. But just for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say that Gen Z was, we've seen the Great Recession back in like 2008 when we were like really young. It was like 9/11. I'm not really speaking in proper order here. Then we had the hell happened in the early 2000s. Crap, I suck at this. Then there was like obviously Trump in 2016. Regardless of how you feel, I just don't care. I'm speaking as neutrally as I can about everything, because I don't want to say anything that I can't back up. But yeah, like, fuck, why do I suck so bad at this game? Then after Trump, we got the rise. Let's call it the rise of China, and then the exploded pandemic that basically has destroyed everything for the last 2 years. It's like we've seen like a lot of stress, and I guess social media, just there's so many things that how do I kill this guy? That our generation has experienced that other generations have not. And I think that there's no unity, there's a lot of chaos, and a lot of us are just like, fuck, what even is anything, Like, the economy isn't as good, I feel like relatively we're not paid as well for, lower end jobs as people were probably in the 80s and 90s. I'm sure that I can get an economist on like a podcast. This is all speculation here, but like it certainly is palpable that something is off, and especially if you're I don't want to get too deep into this, but I definitely think if you're a guy nowadays, with the popularity of feminism and let's call it So I don't like the term identity politics. Damn it, I cannot play this game and talk at the same time. I don't want to say the term identity politics. But, like, how would I put that into words? Just like the focus on identity. Now, it's like, you know, America for the longest time was a majority, like, European country, and now we're seeing many more identities, like, kind of pop up. And, like, how we handle that, I guess, has been to prioritize people who are less represented of the country. And, you know, if you are the majority, such as, like, you know, me, I'm a white guy. Well, you know, fun fact for all of you people, actually, I don't know how you feel about this if you made it this far. My grandfather is actually 25% Pakistani. So I'm 75% European, and then I keep making the same mistakes. 75% European and then 25% Pakistani. But, like, usually when people look at me, they're like, what are you, like, Semitic? Are you Italian? Because your eyes are brown, your nose is a little bumpy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's whatever. But, like, unless I mention it, people don't really know. So I've always felt kind of, you know, I'm curious about how people talk about identity. But I don't think that people who are white, or should I say men, have had, like, I've gotten sort of the short end of the stick in terms of, like, you know, everybody else's, like, the resentment of other identity groups, you know, because I think that to a large degree it seems like identity nowadays is somewhat group fostered, and there are the types who are going to say that, like, you know, that individualism is the answer to that. Like, we need to focus more on the content of our character as opposed to you know, the group or culture from where we reign. But then, you know, I tried that. I tried saying, like, oh, I'm more of an individualist. I like to, you know, judge people by the content of the character, and I cited Martin Luther King to a bunch of people who are very passionate about idpol, and really think that it's genuinely important. And they told me that, you know, in standing on my principle of individualism and not recognizing that that there are these other folks that are coming from other cultures, that I am, for lack of a better word, what's the right word for it, erasing or not properly understanding or validating the experiences of these people. And I don't know, because, like, I'm an empathetic guy and I really want to understand. It's like, yeah, you know, some people that really means a lot to them, like the culture they're from, their values they've been raised with. So, like, you're Hispanic or whatever, and you have, like, Hispanic parents, and you're in the United States, and you want to, like, you know, keep a part of that with you. And then when somebody's like, well, I don't really care about, you know, your culture, I care about who you are, you know, that really means something to some people. And then, you know, they're the libertarian types are like, no, that's stupid. You know, that's just going to divide us even more, because, you know, the most important aspect of anybody is your character and your values, not necessarily, like, the collectivist, what is it, the culture you're from. And I'm like, jeez, I don't know, like, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a real easy solution to that, because human beings are naturally a very tribalistic kind of species. You know, we tend to, like, group together based off of, like, values, culture, maybe even, like, you know, I think Jordan Peterson said that, like, psychologically we do tend to have, like, a in-group preference. So it's like, you know, if you're of Asian descent, you might subconsciously identify, oh shit, my god, why do I keep doing that? Fuck! You might subconsciously, you know, associate more with people of Asian descent without even really realizing it. And I guess, like, if there's psychological literature to back that up, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But all that to say that, you know, you can't just say that we're all individuals and expect people to be like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, my culture absolutely has no meaning whatsoever. It's all about the content of my character. And I thought about that for a long time, and I'm like, fuck, I don't think either is going to, you know, solve any of our issues anytime soon. But it's like, you know, if we're all just individuals in a country, where's our sense of collectivism? But if we all, you know, kind of fall into our group identities, then you also run into the issue of, like, well, multiple groups in the same place not sharing values, and then that's going to create, like, what is it, like not in-group conflict, but so is it sociological conflicts? I'm sure some people are better with verbiage than I am. But all to say, yeah, like, I don't really like the politically correct types, but I also understand their the plight of trying to, you know, be respective, I guess, of other cultures. You know, personally, man, like, if people have mean things to say about Pakistanis or whatever, I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. or you know, if they have like an offensive take. I'm like, maybe there's like good intent. Maybe it's a funny joke, and it's like, you know, sometimes humor can be offensive. So what? You know, I think Stephen Fry once said that he's offended every day by multiple things, but just by dint of being offensive, he doesn't have the right to just, you know, say, hey, you no longer have the right to speak, you know. And we have to kind of, I think a lot of it comes to maybe globalism. You know, it's like we have so many different cultures trying to live in the same space, and like, you know, maybe PC culture is like the one size fits all kind of solution that people have to, you know, what's the right word for it? Mitigate the stress and tension that comes with, like, you know, so many cultures in the same place. But I digress. I'm just wondering what a lot of you guys think. What I want to do, honestly, with this channel, if I don't read as much as I should, I don't do as much political research as I should either. However, you know, I hear so many of the same takes online. I don't hear enough questions, you know, of about what's the right word for it? I'd say that a lot. Not enough questions that might, like, you know, breed newer perspective. It's just like, oh, you watch Jordan Peterson, you've become a parrot of Jordan Peterson's ideas, or maybe you watch Vosh and you're like, you're a Voshite, and a lot of what you say just is a direct quote from some Vosh video. By the way, if you watch Vosh or Jordan Peterson, I don't have a problem with either of you guys. I'm trying to play Switzerland and all this. I want to be the kind of guy that really understands all perspectives, and maybe like someday I'll be able to make up my mind, but you know, after the ignorance of shit, I'm gonna die. I'm definitely gonna die. After the ignorance of you know, not doing my research. How do I fucking do this? I just want to. I'm gonna lose all of my powers. Fuck you. Hold on. I can't talk about this at the same time. Oh, I'm gonna totally die. I think this is gonna be the end of the video here, guys. But yeah, like, if you're coming from any perspective, I want to hear you out. I don't know what my demographic is on the channel. Maybe it'll help me, like, understand you guys more, because I mean, this is really the first time I've put myself in the internet and like, yeah, you know, this is okay, because I'm taking a really big risk by saying anything. There's a big responsibility in putting content out there, and like, I obviously don't want to, like, the probability that I'm going to say something stupid increases the longer I, you know, stay online and stream. But I guess, like, if you guys have like any particular takes on what I just said, I really want to read your comments, and maybe you guys can teach me, because I'm going into this as open-minded as I can. I'm not, you know, again, not much of a I'm not Aristotelian in my politics. I'm very, like, I think the word is platonic. I'm like all about ideas, but then when it comes to data and what's actually happening, I suck. Anyway, thanks for watching me play some Mega Man, guys. I hope that you know, this has been somewhat enjoyable. And if you want me to make more content like this in the future, let me know. I can just talk politics and play retro video games. All right, cheers.